Do you like Funkos?
Do you like Funkos?
Do you like to eat?
Do you like to eat?
Are you a geek?
Are you a geek?
Geek meets eats. Oh, it's time to pop, y'all.
Oh, Geek meets eats.
We got Funko Pops up in here, handmade robots over there. We got comic books up in here, cooking up a storm over there.
Oh, Geek meets eats.
Oh, Geek meets eats.
Hi. So Xander will be here in just a minute. My fault. I sent him a link late. But thanks for joining. Whoever's here. There's 3 of you right now. Hi, Umpty. Hi, Caitlin. So yeah, what is going on tonight is I don't feel like I did enough for Dave this weekend. Just kind of watching my money, and I didn't know how to keep the glitter from coming off the sodas. Even though Lily did one, and I still gotta fix it a little bit. I want to fix his eyes a little bit more, but so I've got these, and then I have a pull box of comic books, everything from I think 60 cents up to modern. There are a ton of variants in here. There's a ton of Virgin ones in here. DC, Marvel, Independent, Vampirella, anything that you guys can think of. Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Is in here. Xander is now here. This is the other reason we're here. So Xander is going to be proffering up his Bud-Diez. Now, is it B-U-D apostrophe or and then D-I-E-Z, or am I spelling? Is it B-U-D?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
on a couple
Bud,
times.
so that Bud like buds, and then the complete for Bud-Diez, obviously. So that because the whole point is to have like a little friend forever. You know what I mean? Just like how toys are. Toys are already like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not an artist at all, but I will show you what I did.
Let's go. So
I'm obsessed with NASA and astronauts, right? But the astronaut soda, which I can show you what the common started off looking like. Nope, that's my chase. That's not going anywhere. What did I do with it? I don't know what I did with my astronaut. Oh, it's over there. I'll show you what it started off as, and then I'll show you what I turned it into. 1 second. How are you, my dude? You doing okay?
Me?
I said, you doing okay?
Oh, most definitely.
Hey, Johnny. Hey, so bless. How are you? All right. So this is what it started off as. So it looks like this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's what he started off as. And this is what I turned him into.
Oh, beautiful. With the gold.
Yep. And so he's got some, and Neil Armstrong's gloves were gray, his boots were gray, and then he had a lot more ports on it, on his suit, and then he also had a camera on the front, so I painted on the camera.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So there's some moon dust and stuff on his back. I even painted the little crotch buttons and the little knee buttons and stuff like that came on his suit. So I tried to make it a lot closer to Neil Armstrong.
That's awesome.
And then I did a diamond Venom, so he's all sparkly.
Okay.
He's all sparkly. I still got to fix his one eye, though. Some of the glitter stuck to it.
I was going to say, what was the sparkles? Is it glitter?
Yeah, it's glitter. And then this is a metallic Homer Simpson. He also, everything that's yellow on him glows in the dark.
I saw this, I think, earlier today. Did you post that?
Yeah, and then Stormtrooper that I turned into a Sith Trooper, so the Stormtroopers come white. So I turned it into a Sith Trooper.
That's awesome.
And then last but not least is I took a stab at making a custom HMBR. So he is a metallic
Okay.
spike with some little other fun stuff on him.
That's awesome.
So I have those. Those will be for sale. We're really here for Sander. Anything that I sell tonight, though, 50% of it is going towards. Hey, Johnny, how are you? Is going towards the P2, the Dave's charity. I don't think I spent enough this weekend. I bought a mystery box and one other item. I feel like I should have done more. And then in this box, like I said, is 100 comic books. Everything from old to new. There are Virgin covers. Everybody knows I love my Virgin covers. And I don't know what else, but whoever spends the most tonight, I do have a slab that will go to that person. It is a Spider-Man slab. I don't know what I did with it at the moment. I'll have to find it. But anyway, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
All right. I appreciate you having me on your platform and doing this particularly. So this is awesome. Okay, so I'm Xander. Welcome to Xander 6 Comics. We have the Bud-Diez, which I'll grab right here so I can I'll grab the ones that aren't in the glass cases right now. So we got the Bud-Diez like she was showing you earlier.
You can see mine's different.
Exactly. And they're all right now one of one, handmade, hand sculpted, hand painted. We have the purple variation here. That was the newest member to the series. And so we got these guys right here. Again, they're all different, all unique. Ariana Page is the one who sculpts them, paints them. It's from one of my original designs, which is the Bud-Diez, which will be in a comic book. As I'm working on that right now, but I am dropping a comic strip monthly series, so it'll be a foldable comic strip that you'll be able to collect, and then by the end of the year, it'll be like a whole book, and it'll be a bunch of different stories from these guys to Z, which is the astronaut character that I am currently working on, and multitude of other things. So yeah, so we have the blind bags, and then we have some special edition ones, which are the guys in the glass cases. It'll come with the glass case. It'll also come with a hand-drawn Buddy. You can definitely take it out of the glass. So if you don't want it in that, you don't have to have it in that. We have the two right here that are in glass. And generally, the blind bags, which are the ones like these here,
Tripped me out. I was like, I thought he was sending me a Bud-Diez. I'm like, what is this?
Exactly. No, so the blind bags, which is probably the funnest of all the different ways to get a Buddy. In person, it's like really cool to watch people decide which one they want, because I could see in their eyes if they want a purple one, they're hoping they get the purple one. So the blind bags are still an option. We're doing those here. We only have 6 for the options right now. It could either be purple, it could either be green. We only have, I think, 2 of the minis for the blind bags, and I'll get to prices in a second. So anyhow, basically the background to the product is my not infatuation, but my like for cannabis. I've always been into it, of legal age, of course, what I mean, but I've always been into cannabis and having quality cannabis. And so I'm also a comic book guy. I'm also into toys. I collect figurines. I still use my action figures as reference for drawings. So I've always been intrigued by the toy industry. I kind of went away from that idea as I became a visual artist with drawing. But as I've come back to comic books, there's been more of this realm of toys. So I I didn't know this until last year, but there's a thing called designer toys.
Mhm.
And that is what opened up my world to wanting to create something like this. And for me, it was the best way and easiest way to tap into what that world is. And Geek Meets Eats has been one of those fundamental platforms and individuals that has actually like helped me feel comfortable and at home for what's to come, because the future is we are taking this to Designer Con, Comic Con, toy fairs. So we're into the world stage. And this moment right now, to be able to get people to be collectors before the world sees it in the broader light, is like a really cool experience right now. So that's a little bit behind the product. As far as pricing, the minis, which technically would be like this size here, but not the with the glass. The blind bags will be 20 or 35 for the blind bags for the minis, and then they are 60 for the regular size, which would be like these guys here. And so some are taller, some are wider, but they all are generally medium size, and exactly that's the exact size that she got as well. So yeah, so they're 60, and then they are 35 for the blind bags. You don't get to see which ones you get. You do if you're ordering online, which all of this will be online. You do get to choose the color, so you won't be completely blind in that way. If you want a green one, you can get a green one, and if you want a purple one, you can get a purple one. If you want to order via custom order, not necessarily like a custom buddy, but something more personal, like like that you're ordering something that's going to be thought about for you particularly. We are doing more of that. Ariana is open to doing a little bit more of a custom. So like the one that she has is like a ghost faced style. So there's different like emotions and attitudes that we can kind of add to the buddies. So if you want one that's a little bit more sassy, let's just say you gave us a word like that, I want something a little more sassy, we could try to do something like that for you. But it would be like, if it was a $60 one, it'd be like 100 just that, do something custom like that. But as far as options, green and purple are the only colors. We do have some stuff coming in the summertime that's going to be kind of like really groundbreaking for us at least. And we're excited to bring that to you guys very soon. But yeah, I don't know what else to say.
And Mama J's got a couple of them.
Mama J has got a couple of them. Yeah, she picked up 2 after our last episode of the two minis, and she actually did a little episode too, a little video, and that I actually was able to do some chop up editing, and I really appreciated that as well. So yeah, super grateful. I appreciate the community, man.
Now, you know what I noticed that's not on mine, that's on the new ones?
Oh, signature. Because you know why?
It's an error. It's an error one.
I know. It's you know what though? I what it was that's also why I was giving a couple of the hand drawn pieces with some of the orders for like the very first customers for it, which you were one of the very first. Was because I didn't have a gel pen at that time. Exactly, yeah, that guy. So I signed that, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to give something more personal to add on top of the fact that like you guys are the first customers for this, first toy series of mine. But yes, I know. I'll fly to you. I'll fly to you just to sign it.
I will say, Xander, one of the things that the reason mine sits like, okay, right here, it's on my desk, right in front of my screen. Yes. And the reason is since I met you, and even though I know that you've gone through some stuff lately, the positivity and everybody that I've talked to, that's, you know, like mentioned like, oh, that was, you know, a great episode. He's, you know, such a great guy and da 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 da, is the positivity. So when I see this, it makes me think of you. It makes me think that I need to get my head in your space where you're at, where you're like, come on, world, like throw it at me. I'm still going to keep going, because
Right.
sometimes I forget that. And especially at my age versus your age, sometimes you forget that you can still take the world on. So
Exactly.
he sits right here.
That's that's awesome, man. That like that. I don't know. Every time I come up on here, I have these moments where it's like, I'm like, man, I'm really here, like doing this, and that's why I was saying earlier, you've given a platform to feel like a part of something that, I guess in all, it's like we're drawing at, you know, like straws. We're trying to figure out like where our placing is in life, all of us, all at once, and to be able to have that type of connection to add on top of something that I created, that, I mean, that's what it's really all about. But I really appreciate you even saying that, because that warms my heart up like no other. So, you know, I'm glad that there's positivity resonating off of this and off of me, even when I feel like I'm not. Sometimes I feel like I'm not, you know. And I think that's even the thing too, is like with social media, was when I first started, um, you know, doing it on, like putting my stuff on Instagram, because mind you, I don't have a TikTok, I don't have you know, a Twitter that I use, I don't have a Facebook, so it's like all I have is Instagram. And and it's because I'm so basic that way, where I use Instagram almost like an email list, where I could show people my day to day, and then I can also see what people's day to day is, or whatever they're doing, their projects. You know, I follow a lot of artists, I follow a lot of creatives, and then I follow everyone that I meet out there in the world. Like when they follow me back, I follow all of them, and so I'm not even concerned about, you know, like a cap of how many people you could follow and what's the look. Like, how are you supposed to look cool on social media? How are you supposed to look official? It's like, I'm a regular person, so I'm just gonna only do regular person stuff. So if that means like it looks crazy, and if I can get to Comic-Con and I'm a regular person, it's kind of like it tells the other regular person that that's very like possible, you know. So that's why I use social media. That's the only reason. And so I've been getting a lot of like feedback, because I was kind of off of it, and I still am, but I was like, I'm off of just like posting every day 7 times a day. And I've had some people like, you know, hit me up and just say, hey bro, like post a couple times, because even when you know, because every day I look for your stuff, and I'm like, that's, I mean, I didn't realize, you know. And it doesn't mean I have to, but it's kind of like, well, that's cool that people are saying like, hey bro, that's, I like your consistency, I like the positivity behind it, because it's hard out here. And I'm like, yeah, it is hard out here, because I don't feel on the daily as positive as it may come out, you know, because I am only trying to create positive things, even with pain, you know, you try to create beautiful things. So, and like, you know, it's actually been kind of off a far note, but I think it's a cool conversation, because maybe it's a different opinion than most people are giving. But even like a lot of artists are bugging out over the AI stuff. You know, have you seen some of that?
Mhm.
And so I don't know your opinion, but to me, it's like kind of like when the drum machines and the synthesizers came out. It was kind of like that. Like real musicians were like, dude, I'm doing this with a guitar. I'm doing that with a drum. You know what I mean? And then it was like, well, I can do this with a button now, because I could record you doing it with a guitar. Now I can make my own guitar strings or whatever it may be. But it's like we're so very far past that point, because at the end of the day, who knows what's making all the music now? You know, who knows how we're making it? It could be all electrical. It could be all analog stuff. So to me, it's like, why fight the AI epidemic when I have real people saying, "Hey, I'm gonna send you out a Spawn comic. Could you do the cover?" You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, like Mama J is getting an Ozzy Osbourne. She paid me to get an Ozzy piece. And I'm gonna do some extra stuff. You know what I mean? Because I
Right.
can. And so it's like, why would I fight that? The AI artist and like all this other stuff. Why would I fight it? When I have real life, like maybe one day, and I'm sure it will be, I'll use it to amplify video, to make my own animations without having to have this budget. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I can record, scenes from my own hometown in San Diego. I could go to the beach and record a scene, and then I could say, hey, put my drawing into this video and make it do this scene. I could do that. And it's like, well, that's cheating. Okay. I can't, again, you can't fight.
But is it? I mean, think about it. All right, so comic books, and for instance, like I can probably find an older one in here. I was just looking through these, and I have a point. I promise you, I have a point.
Most definitely.
Okay, so you see this, right? You got the old school comics. These are all pen, hand drawn, hand inked, everything else. But which is still cool. Everybody still likes the old stuff. But then when you get into some of the new stuff, which I think I have a cool example, you got stuff like this, which is so fluid.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And then you've got Peach Momoko, who is kind of a hybrid. She does it very fluid, but it still looks like the old pen and ink drawings.
Exactly.
So it's not. I mean, it's not necessarily everything moving forward is bad. I mean, there's good and bad to everything. Social media has brought about a lot of cyberbullying, and everybody knows everybody's business, and the more that we've gotten on computers, the more information that's been stolen, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, Xander, think about it. Right now, you've got this product, you've got this designer toy, which is a Bud-Diez. And you could even think back a decade ago, it was still very taboo to be a pot smoker. You were a loser. You were, a dope head. Nobody wanted to hire you. You couldn't get a job. And now it's like, well, how many states is it legal in now?
Exactly. I mean, how many places in people's minds is it like, it's not a fear anymore. Mm-hmm. It's no longer like, when and I'm not promoting, like underage consumption of anything, but no. All know that high schoolers try everything. You know what I mean? So now it's no longer when you try something, you're automatically paranoid, and then this thing is associated with paranoia, because it's not. It's actually an anxiety reducer. It's at 18 years old of age to start smoking it, because that's the law, and also certain aspects of our brain functioning, like you're still growing, you know what I mean? Even at 18, even past that to 24, you're still growing, you know what I mean? Your brain.
Well, I did something to stunt myself, because obviously I have all of this and I'm in my 40s. So
exactly. So there's something wrong with us, because we, you know what I mean? No, I was joking, but I think that's the beautiful part about it, is it's still about being safe. It's still about being conscious of, like I wouldn't want kids to smell marijuana around my pop-up shop, so I don't smoke weed during store hours. Even though I technically at most places I could smoke inside my own shop. And I'm sure, like at the beach, I used to actually do that. And people my age are coming up and be like, yo, what's up? Well, tell me about this. So there was never a problem, but it was like, but when I'm doing that, the 7-year-old can't come in. When I'm doing that, the 14-year-old can't come in. The 15-year-old can't come in. They could, but it's not right. So you have to think about all of that stuff. So even with this product, it's obvious that it's 18 and up, like about as far as people being able to buy it, it's 18 and up, because it has to be, there is something that we can, do to just kind of spread awareness and make it so things aren't demonized. And I think that this is one of those things that's kind of like a positive step to kind of branching out and figuring out the real problems that we have going on. You know what I mean? Marijuana is not a part of the real problems that we have going on in this world.
Just like rainbows and Bud Light cans are not real issues in this world right now. And I made a point the other day just because I was just like, why are we shooting out Bud Light cans? Because we're angry at the world and
exactly. We have too much time
to love each other.
Right, exactly. And that's really what it comes down to is, and the thing is, I think actually what it comes down to is self-love. People don't have enough self-love to just like break free from nonsense, nonsense. Because at the end of the day, exactly like beer cans, anything that is brought up in the past 10 years has been like a lot of nonsensical things. But at the same time, there is this energy that moves past it and is the future. Like there's kids right now, like I've met, we always want to knock down the children, right? Like all the kids these days are just so like this and this. I've met some like 12-year-olds that are like talking, way smarter than I ever did and that I probably ever will.
That's my nephew. But there is also a good portion of this current generation of 20-somethings that has no idea how to cope for themselves. They don't know how to pay bills. They don't know. Yeah. They don't know the meaning of a dollar. They don't know how to work hard. It is more rare for the 20-somethings right now to be like you than it is when I was a kid. I mean, I had a job when I was 14. I had, I started working as soon as I got a license for myself. The other times I had to work part-time when my mom and dad could run me somewhere. Right. But when from 16 on, I had a job.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm just one of those rare few that wanted to have a job at that age. I wanted to because I had so much privilege to be able to, because I had such a good life. Like I had so much privilege that, it was like, okay, well, like I don't play all day anymore. Mm-hmm. At a certain age, I don't play all day. That's what I used to do back then. I used to play, climb trees, play with action figures, run myself into like tiredness. So I take so I go to bed by the end of the night. Now I don't have that. If I'm not in school and working in sports, then I don't know what I'm doing. So every summer I got jobs, you know what I mean? And I started at 11. That I worked at this coffee shop up in my hometown. And it was like miles and miles away from where I lived, but I asked the guy at 11 years old if I could come by the end of the day and, put up the chairs and do whatever you need me to do. And I would, get paid $5. Sometimes it was actually $3, but I would always get $5 because of tips. And I just learned like that, like even the bike ride at 11 years old, early in the morning, because I got there when they opened, even though I didn't need to be there until the end of the day. I wanted to learn the business. I wanted to learn, what's the business? Maybe I could be behind the counter when I'm 13. I'm obviously not being realistic, but the fact that I even had opportunity like that to be on the grind, is because I saw my mom on the grind. My mom was always working in the office, just getting to it. So it just was natural for me. And I think that a lot of kids my age, we're grown folk, we're grown now. You know what I'm saying? So 25 on up, we're grown. That's how I look at it. When I was 22, 23, all right, cool. Not life wasn't ever like, oh, so nonchalant, like everything's whatever, it's a breeze. Like, no, I've been working on this dream of mine for 7 years now. So it was never just, it's all cool, I can go surf and swim with the dolphins. It was never like that. It was always, we got to get to it, because in order to change everyone around me's life, I have to get on my business. I have to get on my own self-belief, my own course of action, and we'll see what we can do with that. And so I think that's a lot of us. Like, my story is not unique. The only reason I say it is because there's probably somebody that's working right now that is like going, yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. That's the energy that's behind this product or behind anything that you see me do.
Yep.
That's why it was cool that you said that, because the positivity does exist in it, and I'm glad that you feel it, because that's what it's supposed to do.
So we've got some new people, and if you want to show them, so the blind bags are 35, the large ones are 60, and then what if they wanted to add the glass?
So the glass ones, these ones are gonna be just $10 more, so 70 for the big one. I only got the one. We only have the two right now, as far as those options. You are gonna get a hand-drawn buddy with it. So that's also the additive to it. We're just doing a special deal for this this live specifically. So yeah, it won't exist outside of this. This one is the mini, and these ones are 35. This one will be 45. Again, you're gonna get the hand-drawn guy. And then I have 6 blind bags, which are these guys here, and you can kind of see them right there. So I got 6 of them. 2 are going to be the 35, and then the rest are 60. So you can choose the color. The color choices are the classic OG green, which is more resembled to the cartoon one that I initially designed. And then our new addition is the
Which Mama J calls purple haze.
purple haze. I call snozberry. And purple haze is exactly a vibe that we're trying to hit. So I love it. So yeah, those are the new color. You could choose the green or purple. You don't get to see the one that you get though. They are all individually hand sculpted and hand, so they're all one of one. As you can see, like with these ones, they're technically the same size, same price range, but one's a little taller. This one's a little fatter. And this is actually the back. I rarely show the back, but the back is actually low key sometimes the best part.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and it is. And it's because you look at it on front, you're like, oh, okay. And then you turn to the side and it's got so much more little personality. Like this one reminded me of like a little frog on the side. Like, you know, he's got like this little like leg sticking out over here. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then he's got a little booty on him.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually has like two little buds right there that almost like little booty cheeks.
Exactly. Yeah. My lady has definitely put Ariana has definitely put her flair and taste into this. Like, you know, I don't ever want it to get confused. Anytime I can, I'm gonna say it, because she's the reason why this is even possible, that this is even happening.
Deadzone wants to know how he gets the glass ones. He says he needs the glass ones. How did he get the ones in the glass bottles?
The glass bottles, okay. So if you want the both of them, I can definitely do a deal. Hit me in my direct message at Xander6Comics.
I'll put it up there.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And then yeah, so I'll show you too, so you can get a better visual. They come out. So you know, if you don't want it in the glass always, or you wanted to take it out and show a friend, they're not stuck on there, so you can actually take it out. This is the purple guy. He's the mini. And so yes, direct message me at my Instagram at Xander6Comics. And then we will if you want to get both, I'll do a deal. So that's how we can go about it. I accept Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and Apple Pay. Just to throw that out there, I forgot to say that earlier. I don't have PayPal. Everyone has PayPal. I don't. But so all those other ones: Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay, and that's how we can go about it from there. And what was I saying?
I have no. I think I
Doesn't matter. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Let me know. And if you get two of them, bro, we'll throw in some extra there because you're gonna get two hand drawn. You're gonna get these guys, and then we'll throw in something even extra in there.
So he's asking how much for each one.
For each one, they're this one's gonna be $75 for the big guy.
So this is what they look like out of the jar. They're all different. Each one is hand done. There's not two of them that are the same.
So the big guy is $75. You get the hand drawn as well. This guy here is going to be $45. Again with the hand drawn, and then the hand drawn one will be purple as well. So actually, let me, because I keep trying to show it up there. I'm like, it's very dark, so I'll put light on there. Bam.
He's cute. He's kind of laying on his side like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And actually too, that's what it looks like when you take him out too. Like he's like leaning over. There's some really good ones with this batch that Ariana did. There's some really, really good, unique looking ones. Like I'm still jealous because the only ones I get to collect are the ones that are like mess ups while during production. So that's the only ones I get to collect. So I have like little like off looking ones.
I think they're cute. I mean, even the one in the big jar up in the left hand corner there, that one is so cute. He's like a little fat cheeks.
Oh, this guy right here.
Yeah, looks like a little fat cheeks.
Yeah, he's a fatty.
He's so cute though.
This is like the first, the two up top are like the first two ever created. Oops.
So that is what Xander's got. $35 for the blind bags, you guys. Dead Zone says he will give you. He's saying he's giving you $200 for both. You're only asking $120.
Yeah, what's the math on that?
Yeah, it's $120.
Yeah, what is the math on that? I'm so dumb.
So, yeah, 75 and 40. Yeah, 75 and 45 is 120.
Okay, yeah, 120. So yeah, if you're saying you're tipping, again, that's on you. But I will add, like, I always tell people if they're tipping us, like, you're really just paying for something that I'm gonna ship you on top of it. So
he's saying he'll give you $200 for both, brother.
Okay, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, cash at me, or how can you send payment? Because I'll just tell you what it is that where to send that. Sorry, I'm over here looking for.
And then while he is dealing with Dead Zone, so just as a reminder, so I've got the Neil Armstrong astronaut soda custom that I did. So it looks a lot more like Neil Armstrong's suit with some dust and some dirt and stuff on him. Then I've got a Diamond Venom soda. So he's all glittery here.
Look at that Venom.
And then I've got a glow in the dark and metallic. I'm not sure on the glow on this. I mean, I got him to glow pretty, but he's not like factory glow. He's not going to be like a Handmade by Robots glow, but he does glow. So any part of him that's yellow glows. And then the rest of him is metallic. Even the little donut's metallic. And then I have the Stormtrooper soda here, which is a Sith Trooper now. And then last but not least, I have the metallic stripe from Handmade by Robots.
That one's awesome.
Yeah, he turned out good. I actually really liked how he turned out. And then also I have a pull box of comic books, everything from, I think, 60, 75 centers all the way up to current ones. There are variants. There's ratios in there. There are There is one of the comic books in there. There's only 50 copies of that comic book that were made. So there's a bunch of good stuff in here. It is $3 each, or it is 5 for 10 or 10 for 15. So 50% of whatever I get rid of tonight is going to Puzzle Pieces Squared for Dave. I also have this available, which is a OG Chase Rocksteady soda. I think this one goes for like 65. I'm willing to part with that for $50. Somebody wants that. I already have them, so I didn't need to. So it is the blue blacklight one.
That one's cool. That's from what? Pop Soda?
So yeah, this is a Funko soda. I ended up grabbing. I won him in something, I don't remember, and I already have him, so I don't need two. So Newell, DM me an offer, dude. I mean, they're obviously, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what's it to, because I don't know how good they are. So these are common sodas that I turned into custom. So
yeah, I was trying to log into my Instagram, but I can't log into my computer right now for some reason. So
are you on your phone with this?
I'm on my phone with this. That's why I was gonna just handle that real quick right here. But regardless, I don't want to stop the flow of the motion. So, yeah, my bad.
What's the blind bags again? Those are 35. So you can either get a green or a purple one. It's like a mystery bag.
Correct. Yeah. So it's gonna come in one of these. Most likely we'll say gelato. So it'll come in like a colorful bag. You obviously can't see it. You can pick the color either between the OG green or, as Mama J says, the Purple Haze purple. And so we only have two of the minis. The two glass ones are sold right now. So yeah, there's only the option between two for the minis. That's the 35, and then the 60 is the bigger ones. And technically those are 8s. I don't know if I ever explained that, but the minis are supposed to be like one nug, kind of like how you do at like a dispensary or something like that. And then the next size up will be an 8th. And then I will actually I don't have PayPal. That's the only one I don't have. I have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and Apple Pay.
This is a true statement. He can't get one of the bags because he won't open it until 2025. The man has a closet full of who knows what goodies. Like, I love when he does his videos where he's like, I'm pulling something out of the closet. It could have been from 3 years ago.
Oh, that's actually really, that's super cool. That's super cool. Well, if you don't want to get one of the bags because, you know what I mean, because you hold that, I mean, that's actually really cool though. That's a really cool, like, fun way to collect things. Is like, I got this 10 years ago. Let me see what's in it. That's fire. So if you want the ones that I have out just for display, I can sell you those too. Those won't be blind bag. They'll be the same price. Since we're here on the show, we'll do it the same price. Usually it's like, I think,
hey Rukru,
5 more in person. Like some people they, even though they see the 6 that are like displayed, some people don't believe that there's something in them. So we usually just charge like $5 more. But here on the show, it'll be, these guys are actually both the $60 ones at the $60 side. But anyhow, I was gonna announce the next drop coming before summertime is gonna be the ounce. The ounce is gonna be the big guy. So I'm really excited about that one. That's gonna be like a whole cluster of nugs. It's gonna be like a big nug, if that makes sense. But yeah, he's gonna be the ounce, and then like the way that we're gonna be able to display it for collectors is gonna be like really cool. Kind of more in this sense, something like this, the ounce won't fit in this particularly, but we're going to be introducing a little bit more display work for the buddies, because as of right now it's mainly blind bags.
I'm looking up so I don't see what I'm pulling. This is so that it's blind. So if you're wondering why I'm like looking at the ceiling, and so I didn't look at what I pulled.
Let's see.
Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, Newell. So I got 2 people that did pull, so I'm gonna do those real quick. All right. So your first one is, I don't even know. This is a direct edition, old school Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, perfect.
Then we've got a Batman Eternal with Robin on the cover. I've got another Robin, spoiler, Wanted Dead or Alive. And I don't know if any of these, I know this whole thing is coming out with the Robin thing, so I threw some of those in there. I have 2 of these, so I got rid of one. Old Dr. Seuss looking Ice Cream Man number 20.
That one is sick.
And then this one, no heroine. This is actually the one that is one of only 50 books. Number 37 out of 50. We've got an old Aquaman. I picked up on a Whatnot auction. We've got this one is actually a really pretty cover. This is Soulfire. So you actually got 2 out of that run. There's Mara on the front. Man. This is the other Ice Cream Man with the Dr. Seuss cover. This is the 3rd printing, number 20. And Mr. Miracle. It's a DC comic. So those are Newell's pulls.
Nice. Those Dr. Seuss ones, that's like a super hidden gem right there.
I've got multiple of those. I ended up picking them up, and then it's just kind of well, whatever. I can't have that many comic books. Newell sends me some awesome ones. You should see the box that's sitting in the living room right now. And then she sent me a picture the other day of a slabbed one that she sent me that's signed. And the slab of the signed one is worth $400. And I was like, do you want it back? Because I feel really bad right now. I feel really bad right now. All right, Matthew, let's see what we can get for you.
I'll be right back. I'm going to be right back. All right.
2, 3, 4, 5. No, Fenway. These are not your pulls. 6. Reach in the back here. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, Matthew, here we go. All right, so your first one is Talon. It's a good dope ass cover. Then we've got this one is Arkham Reborn, puzzle pieces on the front. This was a sweet ass cover as well. This is Arkham Reborn number 2. This is one of the older ones here. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Re-Enter Starhawk. So an appearance of Starhawk. We've got Batman 127. Sweet ass cover too. I love this cover. And I've got an Uncanny X-Men Legion's Quest. This is an Aquaman from 1989. It's actually a $5 book. And we've got this one, which is a minimal Harley. Multiple of those. And I've got Darkhold. Batman Detective Comics number 4. This is a sweet cover as well. And last but not least, and Matthew likes this because it's got boobs on it. Spider-Man quality of life right there. So there you go, Matthew. There's your 10. So yeah, there's good books in there, guys. Good books. Matthew. Thank you, my dude. All right. So if you guys are interested, he does have Zelle, you have Cash App, you have everything but PayPal, correct? And blind bags, he can either rip them or ship them. They're $3 each, or there are, hang on, let me go back to the other one. I put it on here because I can't remember. 5 for 10 or 10 for 15 plus shipping. So obviously with the 10 books, it's, I don't know, standard I think is about $10 to ship the books. And then whatever I sell them for, like sell these for, is half of that goes to Dave. So yeah, I mean I'm basically only getting $7.50 for 10 books, which is fine because this is for Puzzle Pieces Squared. It's an awesome charity. Dave did over $5,000 the other night. Super fun to watch. It was fun hanging out with everybody on whatnot. But honest to goodness, I mean, I didn't want to lose a bunch of fees and stuff on it too. So that's why we're doing it on here. You will get shipping tonight for anything that you order from me. Venom is gone. So Newell bought Venom, so Venom is gone. I still have the Rocksteady Chase that I'll do for $50. I have the Neil Armstrong Astronaut. I have the Glow Homer. I have the Sith Trooper, and then I also have, which you still can't see him because of my name of being up there. Let's see if I can get him back any further. Glow Metallic Homer, the Sith Trooper, and then I have the Metallic HMBR. Make an offer.
Let's go. Let's go. Shouts out Dead Zone Citizen too. The 2 glass pieces.
So Dave's been furiously packing boxes up from the charity auction the other night. So that's the reason I did what I did to Stripe, because I bought a mystery box from Dave the other night. And so I know that there's a brand new one of those coming to me right now. So I was like, I can paint this one and put it up for Dave. So appreciate Newell. Thank you for buying the Venom. Shouts. Also, anybody who orders tonight will get one of these. So Caitlin's going to get a kick out of this. So Xander, you know me, but you don't know me well enough to know me by what everybody calls me, which is what, Caitlin? Or Newell? One of you two. What do you guys call me? Because this is a good story of what I did.
Got it here.
Oblivious. There you go.
What is it?
Oblivious. So
That's messed up. Don't tell me what's up.
My mom, I promised my mom I was going to order her some stickers for herself, because we did a swap once and the person thanked me instead of my mom because we put a sticker with her on it in there, but it said Geek Meets Eats on it. So I had designed a new sticker. I had designed one for my mom. I went to order the one for my mom, but I attached my own. So now I have a whole crap ton of new stickers, and then I had to order my mom some as well. So every order tonight will get one of these, the new Geek Meets Eats stickers. It's got Fenway is on there. You can see her. Spawn is on there.
I love that design, by the way. That's super, that's the new era of what's about to come.
And then there's my astronaut as well. That's an homage to you. It is an homage to my love of NASA. It is an homage to my favorite thing in the world, which is my NASA prototypes from Handmade by Robots up there.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, oh man. Speaking of this astronaut, I am so excited because I'm going to send you, this is when I'm going to send you the astronaut,
guys.
What's it called? Care package. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to send you so much stuff when this comic strip, the first issue of the comic strip comes out, because I'm so excited for the fact that I have something that I'm going to be able to distribute these comic book ideas out to. I've always wanted to create, because I grew up like old fashioned with certain things, like with the newspapers. I would open up newspapers even though they were kind of already a dying, thing. Like people my age for sure don't really deal with newspapers, and then even my parents don't deal with newspapers, but we would always get them on the shouts out Dead Zone, appreciate you, man, thank you. I don't know if you're still on the live. um but I used to get newspapers, and I would open it up and I would see like the comic strips, in the middle of it with like Garfield and Zitz and different, comic strips.
Wait, was the whole Sunday insert part gone by the time you came around? Because see, that's what we used to look forward to on Sundays. Is we would rip apart my parents' Sunday paper because there was a whole extra section of just comics.
Right. No, actually it was I don't know if they still are doing it, but they were definitely still there. But as a young person, I could tell that no one was even reading what's it called, newspapers anymore. Like people, they're still throwing them on our yards, but I don't think they do the comic strips anymore. But that middle sheet, that right there, that was always my favorite thing, was like to see different stories on one sheet, and then the other sheet's the same exact thing, different stories, and you just get all this like you get a collage of different writers and artists and thoughts. So that's what was always really cool about those. And so yeah, it was kind of a vintage. Actually, it was a vintage thing by the time it got to me. But it was still accessible.
I'm vintage.
Exactly.
I always avoided, like, there were certain ones in the Sunday comics that I avoided. I very rarely got Doonesbury. Like that was kind of like, it was kind of like the Office, show kind of humor, and it wasn't really me. And then Prince Valiant, like I was just like, I don't want to read Prince Valiant, and that's why, like, the way I see it, like when I show Nolan, my nephew who's 11, I show him my comic books. He wants to read like The Mandalorian. He doesn't want to read Fantastic Four. He doesn't want to read old Flash and Superman and Batman. He wants to read like the stuff that he knows,
Right.
But my parents grew up with Prince Valiant when that was like a big thing, and that's why it was still there. But I loved Peanuts. I loved Heathcliff. I loved Beetle Bailey, Blondie, all of those. I mean, we used to fight over the comic books. It was that. And then do you remember like the old TV? Well, you probably don't. You're too young to remember this. They were TV trays, and they were metal. And you can't find them now except for in like vintage places for like $150. Now they were maybe $5 when I was a kid, right? And you could get everything from wrestling on it to Fraggle Rock to, Ninja Turtles and Lino and all that kind of stuff. But they were metal, like thin pressed aluminum, and then they had legs that swung out and locked. And so we would sit on the floor in the living room with our little TV trays with our little breakfast on it and watch, Saturday cartoons too. And that was the thing. And then Sunday comic books.
Exactly. No, and see, that how I looked at it was, oh, this is where Garfield the cartoon originally came from. Like I could tell like the lineage of it, because by this point, Peanuts is a cartoon show, Garfield is a cartoon show, and actually, matter of fact, Garfield is a live action movie when I'm a little kid. So, but I knew about the cartoon before the live action came out because of my, I guess, just introduction to things. It was always what my parents watched and saw. Like they would make sure that they let me know, like, this is what we grew up on, and so I was always connected that way. So yeah, like the Sunday comic strips, that was like almost the complete picture to me of like, oh, kind of like, how like Saturday Night Live, SNL, some of their skits become full on movies.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that piece up to me was like, oh, you could do a comic strip, 4 lines, 4 bars, and eventually have a cartoon show for this. And so I don't know, I was always like weird like that, where everything was possible to me, and I was always trying to figure out like, oh, this is how you get into making comic books, or this is how you get into animation, without ever knowing So it was always assumptions and kind of like a delusional way of thinking. But somehow it cycles back to even just having the idea of like, dude, do your own Sunday comic, comic strip, but there's no need to have a whole newspaper. Just do the middle fold, So it's kind of like that. I'm connected to it. And then again, it opens up for conversations to have like this, where it's like, yo, I was there.
You know what you should, this is an idea. I'm just throwing this out there, but what you should do with your social media on Instagram is once you have the comic book launched, you take one random like cell from that book, and every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, or 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever, you post it.
Yes.
As a teaser, and like, here, this is what's coming up in episode number 2, and just put a little teaser up there. What's up?
I'm doing that. And you know what? I'm doing that, and I'm gonna make sure that's our thing to just put out there, and I'll make sure that like I'll shout you out every time, because that's perfect. That's perfect. And that's what I'll do too, is like everyone that's a part of it, because that's the whole thing. That's why I'm excited to send you out. I can't wait to send you the stuff out. I'm just gonna send it out. I'm gonna send you a few copies, and then inside the book's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff for you. So, but that's exactly what I want to do, is like with everyone that's actually intrigued, everyone that has a buddy, everyone that has interest in like anything that I'm doing with comics and the toys or whatever I'm doing, my community, but particularly this specific thing, comic books and toys, I'm gonna send it to everyone. I'm gonna make it, everyone be a part of it, and we can try to build like a cool community and do just like fun interactive things, with each other, via Instagram, via text message, have more lives on Instagram where we're doing more conversations like this. I would love to have you, I would love to interview you on a live, by the way, for Instagram. So, whenever you're ready for that,
sure.
If you are even interested in something like that, but I definitely would love to get your story behind being a collector, how it started, and then what made you want to. You've already told me, but I want the world to kind of see it in that light of like how, like, what made you really
to turn into a happy failure. A happy failure. I'm happy, but I failed at what my initial goal was, and that doesn't make Lisa happy, because the whole point was I was supposed to be selling all of these,
right?
And and then I started liking them, but then why I'm happy is not because I have all of them. It's not about having this stuff. It is the people that are sitting in this chat right now, and the people that I interact with on Instagram every day, is the friendships that develop from this happy little accident of failure is so much more important. Like, literally this weekend, I was supposed to be going to see Mom and Jay in Cleveland, and things happened, and now they got to postpone the trip for a little bit. So I'm going to save up. That was part of what this was for. It was like some last minute, like, travel money, have a good time money, buy margaritas for everybody money. So I'm going to save up whatever, the other half of the stuff, because that's what I'm going to put it towards, is when I get to meet her, which is hopefully, in a couple of weeks now. But it was so exciting, because some people that I've met through this whole, situation, I've met in person now.
Right.
And, so it just makes it all the more concrete and solid. Like, some of them there's one in particular that I've met a few times in person that I, honest to goodness, hope I never see him again, or I might punt his buddies up through his throat for what he did. But the rest of them, we were planning a trip. The girls we're all planning a trip to go out together next year, so we can all meet, because we talk every single day.
Exactly. And so like you're saying, because it's not failure, because you built a community, and you found a community. That's how I look at it.
Good night, Chase. Thank you.
Is like I look at that I'm being introduced into something that I was always a part of, but didn't know that there was a lot of people like digging stuff that I was digging. Like, again, that Sunday comics thing, that I felt like alone in that, because not because I'm looking for people to go, dude, I did the same thing, but it's always people like that are older than me that are like, yo, like that actually was like a real thing, for me. Exactly. But that's the beautiful part is like, and that's what I might learn some of my biggest blessings are, is all those years when I was growing up with people my age and my peers, however so we call it, is all those years where I felt like no one gets it. It was preparing me for the years where I'm gonna put out my work, and then there's gonna be people of all ages that come to us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's been like a trip, because I used to, in the beginning of this, when I would do pop-up shops and stuff, I was looking, okay, like, what's the demographic? What's the age group? What's the demo? And I've realized like, oh, like when you move like universally, you're able to have a universal audience and demo. So the demo is whoever it applies to. And that's why it's really cool. Hey, I appreciate that, Mama J. I appreciate that. I got some stuff coming for you very soon. Oh, by the way, just to throw it out there, I am going to Italy like very soon, like very, very, very soon. And we're going to all the art spots. We're going to all the beautiful statues, the Sistine Chapel. We're going to look at history in live form. And I'm going to apply that. I'm drawing the entire time I'm up there. So I'm just going to be getting in my skill bag, and I'm going to be learning from the greats, like the Michelangelos, the Da Vinci's, the Caravaggio's. Like I'm about to learn from the greats by visually being there. And so like Mama J, with that piece that I got coming for you, it's about to be like historic, so get ready for that.
She loves it. I mean, she loves all kinds of art. But it's funny. I'm enjoying talking to you about this like whole like retro crossover to current crossover, because so you've started sculpting the astronaut, and here's like, I don't know how they used to do it way back when. I'm plastic injection, whatever it was, that they did. And I think still mass produced stuff is probably you've done that with vinyl, the vinyl molds and everything else, which is fine. Even though vinyl molds, like I have some handmade by robots, there's only 240 of them made.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it small run as well. It's an awesome way to do it. But you hand sculpting that and then turning it into the whole astronaut, because then you got the helmet done, is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Hey, Elam.
Where did I put that thing? I'll try it. Yeah, I got the helmet done.
So that's that part of it, and then he's going to sculpt the rest of it. But because it is an astronaut, it will translate to a younger generation versus the buddies, where you have to do 18 and up, right? So now you've got this other character that you're producing that can be something that a young person can aspire to, especially because NASA's going back to Mars. They're going to go try and go back to the moon. This whole space thing, even though you have a completely different purpose of the storyline, but it will translate to a younger age because of the fact of what is coming.
Definitely. Yeah, it's going to have its hand in a lot of different genres of thinking and demos, like demographics. It's because like you said, there's a different purpose for than like what I have for it, because it's actually not about space, and I'm sure that you're gonna pick up on that. Mm-hmm. It's not about space traveling. It's not even about space. It's actually, the space is only a representation of our inner mind. So like the space that you see in the comic book, it's only because he's inside his own mind. And that's actually made clear. That's why I don't mind saying it before it even fully comes out, is because that's the first page. The first page and the second page, you're gonna quickly realize, oh, he's inside of a meditation, because the first page is him meditating. And so, yeah, I'm actually giving that story as it's happening. And the reason why is because I want it to touch people's like thought process in what is this about? Is it about space? Is it about spirituality? Is it just a cool looking comic book? You know, that's also the thing too, is the style I have down for this one and the aesthetic I'm gonna be doing is like, you don't have to know anything from anything. You don't even have to know how to read English. Is when you look at this, you're gonna feel it. It's mainly gonna be visual and very minimal narration or words. You know, there's not gonna be very much writing, but there's gonna be a lot of deep subconscious writing. So yeah, I actually am excited about it. This thing kind of going to a broader spectrum of like young people being able to read it, experience it, but also still, you know, 13 on up.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna have that PG-13 vibe, because it is gonna be based off of like more of an adult manner of thought instead of like childlike thought. It's going to be adult manner, and then the childlike experience of it is going to be through the artwork. You like through the style of the artwork. That's when you're going to feel your inner child, like, whoa, this makes me feel like Sunday cartoons, or Saturday cartoons, Sunday comics. This makes me feel like growing up playing Nintendo, like, you know. So it's going to be that, but the content is going to be very much more adult. It's not going to be graphic though. And actually that was something that I had to make that decision in my head, was because the main thing is that there's going to be women in there, and the women are going to represent spiritual guides, but they're going to be beautiful women as the representation of it, because he's in his mind and he has to go through a bunch of distractions to realize what his true purpose is.
Okay.
So the women are going to be that representation. They're really there to guide him spiritually, to show him what his purpose is. But because he's a guy, you know, and that's also going to be that what's that called? Not perception, but oh man, I just blanked. Perspective, sorry. So the perspective is going to be like of like a guy, and it's actually going to be kind of like that's why I say teen on up, because it's going to feel like a coming to age type thing. And it's going to be applicable to anyone, because by the end of it, it's going to be for the person who might even be on their deathbed looking for the answer to life. And at the end of it, it's also going to be the new beginning to someone's life. Right. If that, yeah, like when you finish this book, it's going to be, wow, I'm glad I experienced life and I can go. And then if you're at the beginning of your life, wow, this makes me hopeful for my life. Like, I'm going to create something. I'm going to do something with my life. So it's the complete picture. That's why I'm very excited about this. This particular project, and it being for most people. You know, if you're 12, wait a year and you'll be able to buy it, you know, type thing. It's like, yeah. But
I'm very much looking forward to it, because of the fact that there's only a few comics that I a lot of them I buy just because I think the cover looks cool, and I never ever crack the bag, you know. And then there's some that I have that, like Mandalorian, I have probably 10 different Mandalorian #1s because I'm obsessed with Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
So I could pick any one of those and read it, and it follows the Mandalorian storyline. So I kind of slowed down a little bit because I don't want to get past season 3. I don't want to know it's coming up in the show, which I think the season finale is this week of that show. So, you know, I try and do that. I've gotten into some of the Wonder Womans. Twig, for whatever reason, I think Twig is adorable. And I read that. So I'm interested in seeing yours, because certain ones grab me and certain ones don't. And right. You know me, that I will be real and be like, you know, hey, it's this is what I'm getting out of it, because I'd like to give you the feedback, you know, so you can like use me as a test audience. There's a bunch of people in this chat. You know, Mama J, Teresa Newell, those people, Matthew, all these people that read comic books are great to give you feedback on. Yeah, you're on to something here, brother. Like, this does hit me. Like, what you're seeing in your mind, you got to make sure everybody is going to be able to grasp that somehow.
Exactly.
Use us as feedback. Like, here's a couple pages, you guys. What do you think? And I'll give you honest feedback. I mean, I'm not gonna be like blowing sunshine up your butthole if I think that you're gonna fall on your face. I'm gonna be like, hey, I like it or I don't like it. You know, I'll be real with you. So
exactly,
I mean, that's the kind of people that you need. Mama J says, yeah, she's a cover person too.
I'm such a cover person. I'm a dirty cover person.
Yeah.
I'll admit I'm not even ashamed, man. You know what it is though? Is because you know what I hate about comic books, and I'm just gonna say it, man. I'm not even in the game yet. I'm not even in the industry yet, but let me tell you what I hate about this stuff. Is no, I'm just messing around. Is I hate when it's an Alex Ross cover. You know, it's Hulk and he looks realistic and it's all watercolors and you know he looks like the real Hulk but old school classic. That's Alex Ross is my favorite. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I'm sure you are. But then you open it and it's like some, you know, like half-ass artwork on the inside, you know, because it's not what the cover looked like. That's why I really dig Todd McFarlane is because, man, I could collect one issue, get the 10 cover span, and when I open, doesn't matter, it's the same comic book in each one, but when I open it, the artwork somehow, because of the quality, matches the cover, even if it's different medium, different style. You know, Todd McFarlane, and with the Spawn comics particularly, they use such a vast variety of different colorists and artists. You know, he has so many artists. He gives so many artists opportunities. But the inside is quality. I hate when I open up a Marvel comic book or a DC comic and the cover's fire, and then the book on the inside's whack. And actually, I'm not gonna lie, that has been comic books for a long time of my life. I never liked new comics. If it had like that new modern look to it, kind of like the ones that you were showing,
Yeah,
it's very liquidy, it's very fluent. That was the type of art I used to stay away from. I used to go to the old stuff that you like you were showing, like the Aquaman, the Flash one. Go to that type of style, just because I got on my own way. You know, I got on my own way because I love so many different types of artists, and I'd be disappointed that the inside of the comic book was whack, and I did it made me not want to read the comic. Yeah. So I didn't get a lot of new stories. Like when Guardians of the Galaxy surfaced, the movie, my cousin, he told me all about the comic book, and he's like, dude, it just came out like, you know, the comic book just came out within the last few years. And I'm like, oh, you know, how is that even possible that a comic book that came out the last few years is now having a movie? I just remember even that being the difference. Like,
there's old Guardians in here somewhere, and I don't know what year they are. Let me see if I can find one.
Oh, like the old school, like when they actually first appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that tripped me out, because like I got into comics in the 90s, like 93, 95-ish, till I graduated, and then, you know, I went off to college and discovered boys and beer and all that, frat parties and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, okay, Caitlin, I will. But it trips me out because now everybody's after the number one. It'll be Amazing Spider-Man #1, and then 3 months later there'll be an Amazing Spider-Man #1. I'm like, what is going on? Like, can you guys just like? I like the ones that have legacy numbers. You know, it'll be Spider-Man #1, but it's legacy number 2472.
Right. So it tells you where you're actually at.
All right, so they asked me to show these off again. So Mama J or whoever was asking. So I've got the Neil Armstrong version of the astronaut.
Woo.
He's my favorite one that I did. And then I still have the metallic / glow, although I don't know how good the glow is because the paint. I got him to glow, and he glows, but he's not as fire glow as like a Handmade by Robot. But his shoes are metallic, his pants are metallic, his shirt's metallic, the donut's metallic, even his hair is metallic. And then I have the Sith Trooper, who's red. And then I also have the metallic stripe handmade by robots. You can see there's some extra detail in him too. His chest and stuff. Eyes.
Custom.
So I'm just asking, make me an offer on those guys. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, obviously they sell, retails 15. So whatever, you guys. And then I also have the old OG Rocksteady Chase soda. This is the Chase. Yeah. So all the paint on him. So his gun is even metallic. You can't really see it on the. But I did paint him like with a metallic copper. On the gun itself. You can kind of see it coming through a little bit. So I did that. I thought that was cool. Like, that's the first thing I thought of when I wanted to do a custom soda. I'm like, I'm doing a Sith Trooper, man. I'm going to turn that bad boy red.
Yeah. Did you do spray or is that brush?
No, I hand painted that. I mean, you can kind of see the brush marks if it's up close, but
it looks good. That's why I was asking. I'm like, it looks freaking on point.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. He's got, like the metallic up in here, the silver and everything else, and
badass.
The vents I even painted blue again.
Yeah, that's like the buddies. They're all brush. You wouldn't even know.
That kind of stuff, like I tried to do one. I should show you the failed one. I was gonna do like a tongue in cheek. I did a Bazooka Joe, so I took a Bazooka Joe soda and I just painted him all metallic pink, like except for his hat. Everything else on his body, his shirt, everything is metallic pink, and I'm like, that just looks stupid. That's sitting in the living room right now. I'm like, I didn't even bring that one in here.
I bet you
fail.
Most definitely.
Ryan wants a Deadpool Trooper. If I have another common one somewhere, I could probably do that. I could try at least. Yeah. And then we also have the comic book polls, and then Xander has his blind bags for the buddies, which they look like this with the minis in them. Those are $35 a piece, and then he's got the big ones that are $65.
Yes. Boom, boom.
You want Sith Trooper, Mama J?
Let's go.
You want this one, Mama J?
Boom.
Alrighty.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Eric wants to kick in the ass. Might get one. All right, so we got the Neil Armstrong astronaut, the glow metallic Homer, and the metallic stripe left, and then I've got that Rocksteady Chase, and then I've also got the comic book polls. They're $3 a piece, or 5 for 10, or 10 for 15, plus shipping. So the first 15 is $10.
Good stuff, man. They got some good stuff. I'm jealous of the Dr. Seuss stuff, man.
Oh, the Ice Cream Man?
Yeah.
Newell will probably can probably trade you something for that, because I think she already has them and she's not a big fan.
No worries. Yeah, well, I'll be down. Yeah. Oh yeah, shouts out. What is it? Dead Zone. What was the gentleman's name?
Yep, Dead Zone Citizen. Christian. He lives in Arizona. He's not far from you.
Oh, beautiful. Shouts out Dead Zone Citizen. He picked up the 2 glass editions.
Xander, if you design a comic book miniseries using any 5 characters from any fandom, who would you pick?
From any fandom. So if I had to pick, like a Spider-Man type thing, is that what we're asking?
Yeah, anything, any fandom. Like, what 5 characters? If you could do, like, your ultimate, but you have to use like pre-made characters.
Okay. Okay. So obviously Spider-Man. Just off the fact that he's like been my favorite superhero since forever. Batman. Same thing. And then if we were to mix those 2 together, who would we get? We would get Spawn. So that's my third choice. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's because I could draw those guys so like with blind. I could draw them blind. So and the fact that Spawn is the mix of both of them, quite literally, as far as drawing wise, I'm sure you can see it even in his powers and his existence. But yeah, so Spawn would be number 3. Wolverine would be number 4. Um,
Mama J loves her some Wolverine.
and then I had to pick a woman character because, first of all, I love drawing. Like the female form is one of my favorite things of all time, art in itself. And then on top of it, just the fact of it's not this is right top of drawing as well, but I don't find it hard to think of what a female character would go through. Like I don't think there'd be too much disconnection between it. So kind of like in the 90s, how artists, like some of our favorite artists, they kind of accentuated like the female form kind of crazy, especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Humps and dumps.
Right. And so just like that, like where not that it connects with the male audience, but now we're in like this time period where we need to connect to the female audience. Like, what's been a trip is comic book conventions or comic book fans, collectors. There's a lot of young female collectors out there. And I don't think that the industry even knows that. I don't think that the industry even knows that yet.
So you and her like the same kind of art.
Most definitely. Yeah. I like me some sexy things. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like I've learned that just the fact that there's a lot of like young female like artists. Like, okay, so my Spawn piece is the reason why I've had this conversation a lot. Is I'm surprised that 16 on up females, they know who Spawn is, and I can't fathom how. They got introduced to Spawn, and they're like 16, 17.
Spawn is my favorite comic book character ever. And I can't even. I mean, I love the movie, even though it bombed. I loved that movie. I thought the special effects in that movie were so fantastic with the way that they did his cape and the way that the stuff came off of him and shot out and everything. I loved that
Your
movie.
mic is kind of doing something. I'm sorry, it started crackling.
Oh, it started crackling?
Yeah, like the sound on your end.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe I don't know if the rest of the chat hears it that way. If not, it's okay. Then I'll.
Do I sound robotic, you guys?
It did a couple times earlier, but then it just went right back. But now it's kind of consistent.
Oh, is it because I have that on there? Is that better?
Still crackling, getting a little bit better.
Is it me?
Is it?
All right, hang on.
What is the chat?
I'll be right back.
She'll be right back, everyone. Sorry, I don't want to stop the conversation, but
I don't know if it's me.
Yeah. Now it's repeating you. Now it's repeating your voice.
Okay, I muted him. Do I sound normal or do I don't? Yeah, it's you that sounds robotic.
Yeah,
it's only crackling when it's like I can hear it, and I can only hear it when your mic's on. So as soon as I do this, I don't hear the crackling anymore. Try going out and then come back in.
Okay. I leave.
Okay. I never saw. Yeah. I sound normal sometimes. Whatever. Whatever. Caitlin, I take back what I said earlier to you. Come on, this did turn out pretty dope. He turned out so cool, I thought, at least anyway. All right.
Are we back to normal?
Yeah. Oh, now I lost you again. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Well, we're waiting for Xander to come back. Okay, I know what you're saying, Eric, about the serials, but if I could pick any 5 characters, it would be number 1 would be Spawn, number 2 would be Wonder Woman, number 3 would be Mandalorian, number 4 would be Batman, and number 5 would be Deadpool. I know, Mama J, I know you hate Deadpool, but I think Deadpool comic books are hilarious. I know you hate him. If we were going for the old serials, it would be Snoopy. It would be Popeye. It would be Garfield, the cat. Din Djarin. It would be, I'm trying to think of like all the ones that I used to watch. Linus, because I had blue blankets like Linus. And the guy from the Wizard of Id. Those would be mine. I mean, what were you guys like? What were your favorites on Saturdays? What's a horse buggy like Little House on the Prairie? Ha ha! F Deadpool, I'm way better. Ryan than him anyway. I'm with you, Mama J. Yes, Ryan, I do. You are much better Ryan than Ryan Reynolds. Although he does have a rocking chest area. I love his pecs and his abs. Him in Blade 3 when he's like kneeling down on the ground and he's all kind of Oh, his phone died. He's trying to come back in. So hang on 1 second. Mama J wants a Care Bear. All right, what was your favorite? All right, everybody listen, tell me, what was your favorite of the serial comics? So on the Sunday comics that came out, what was the one that you always had to read first? Eric says Scooby-Doo, Jabberjaw, Grape Ape, Godzilla, and Yogi Bear. Yeah, I can kind of see that in you, Eric. I mean, that's just that your sense of humor and personality. I can definitely see that. Eric is cussing maybe a Care Bear someday. Well, yeah, I can say the same thing about me, except every single time I try to finish part of it, it breaks. It doesn't stay. Caitlin says Blondie. Eric says Andy Cap. You never read a comic? You all right, so I have to ask, I'm not trying to be ignorant, Ryan. Did your papers over there not have like a comic insert in them? Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace was really good. Oh, Mr. Wilson! Family Circus. Family Circus was good too. I don't remember which one I actually read first. I just knew that like some of the old school drawing ones when I was like 5, 6 years old, Kathy, that was good. Marmaduke, yeah. That's what I was trying to think of. I was trying to think of that with the one with the big dog, Marmaduke. I didn't like the Prince Valiant style of drawing, but now I appreciate it because I'm older and like looking at older comic books and stuff. I appreciate it now. I still wouldn't read it. Far Side. What's a Marmaduke? Well, she's obsessed with ducks, so it's Marmaduke instead of Marmaduke. For any of you guys, I'm gonna do a little shameless interaction here. If any of you guys could please go to HobbyDB, I will send you to my page. If you guys could go and vote, there are only a couple more days till this is over. So this is my showcase. If you guys could please go and vote or like it, I should say, that would really, really, really help. I'm going to drop that into the chat because they are looking for likes. This is for the Handmade by Robots to get one of the HobbyDB colorways of the Robot 2833362-1. But if you guys could do that, I would appreciate it. Not that I can think of in today's papers, but I do remember Beano being popular with my siblings. See, when you say Beano, I don't know what Beano is over there, but Beano over here was a pill that you take if you had gas. Literally. There he is.
I'm so sorry.
Back.
I've never gone onto so many different devices to try to get onto something in my life, but we are here. All right, let me set this up real quick. So sorry, everyone. So sorry. Right when I heard your voice too was crystal clear, I was like, "Oh, perfect." Died.
So we were talking about which one of the comics was, and the Sunday comics was like the first one that you had to read, like the one that you like had to go to.
Which one was one I had to go to for Sunday comics?
So Marmaduke, Far Side is some of them. Family Circus, Dennis the Menace, Andy Cap.
What's the one with the tiger? What's the one with the kid and the tiger?
Oh, Hobbs.
Hobbs. I love that.
Calvin and Hobbs.
Calvin and Hobbs. I love that one.
Now, did you like it for the comic, or did you like it because every single car back in the 90s had a Hobbs peeing on something on the back of it?
Is that who that is?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even put that together.
Uh-huh.
No, I liked it because of how deep it was actually. If you actually pay attention, it was like some deep. It was like some deep stuff. And I'm pretty sure the tiger is like his imaginary friend or something. So, yeah, it was deep. I like that. I like that type of stuff. When I don't know. I can't even say it was because when I was a kid that I just like deep stuff. I don't even think it was that. It was there was just something that was a part of growing up where it was you're gonna like the stuff that will age well with you.
Like The Simpsons. Yeah. Have you ever seen the original Simpsons when they were on the Tracy Ullman show before they went on Fox and they became what they did? Have you ever seen the creepiness that is the original Simpsons?
Yeah. They look different, right? Yeah. I think I see them. Before.
But when I was 14 and my mom would take me to the mall with my friends to go eat at the food court, you were only cool if you had a Simpsons t-shirt. And the more Simpsons characters you had on it, the cooler you were.
Oh, snap. The hierarchy.
Oh, yeah. Pegging your jeans and then the Simpsons t-shirt. I mean, nowadays, at this age, it's how many Funko shirts that you have. And, if you have your own shirt, I wore my own logoed shirt down in Texas. I was like, hey, I might as well advertise while I'm down here.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. That's actually the new flex is do you have your own brand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was it for us? It was well, you know what I can say for right now, what I've seen, because vintage clothing is such like a big thing. Um, I don't know.
So, like
You got,
what in vintage clothing? Because I'm trying to figure out if I have stuff in my own closet right now that you would call vintage,
oh,
like
I
stuff that I
bet.
actually wore or still
Well,
do.
no, what's crazy about vintage, the whole vintage clothing thing, like the hustle behind it is it's all people like my age or like maybe even like a little bit younger, and it's just a t-shirt from the 90s. Like it could be like Lion King, and it's because it looks faded and it's a shirt from the 90s. That's what makes it vintage. And then people will spend $50 on that for
What?
yeah, oh, I know. It sounds crazy, but it's true. They'll
Bro,
spend
I got you.
$50.
I think I have boxes down in my parents' basement. Like they might smell a little bit, they might have some pit stains in them, but they're all yours.
They won't even care. They won't even care. I've seen people buy because there's swap meets and stuff. I've seen people buy vintage underwear. Okay, like yeah,
No.
yeah. It gets crazy out here.
That's like when you walk into Salvation Army and they have like single pairs of like underwear that you can tell are not like crisp right out of the package, and you're
Yeah,
like, why would you want to buy someone else's drawers?
yeah.
Why?
Ugh. So that's the vintage right now thing is is everyone is
90s.
everyone's all on now. Well, I think what it is too is that it everyone thinks that because they're wearing something from back in the day, that it makes them automatically
Okay.
cool and unique. Um, when now everyone's wearing, vintage clothes, especially over here in California. I can only speak for that because I don't really know what's going on in all the other states because I know it's different. But yeah, from over here, everyone's wearing baggy jeans again, um, like big wavy 90s t-shirts with cartoon characters on them that they've never even watched before. That's what's a trip about it.
Is the hypercolor coming back?
What's hypercolor?
So they were shirts, like you would buy it and it like on it was hanging up, it's like purple, and then you put it on and like wherever you touch it with your hand or your body heat would be, it would turn like pink, and you get a green one and then it would turn yellow with body heat.
I'm sure they're gonna come back. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tight
It
though.
was horrible in your teenage years because like if you got nervous around a boy or something, then like your armpit area would like totally change color. You're like,
Oh,
oh, I can't talk to Steven because he's making me turn color.
yeah, no, I've seen some of those before. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure those are gonna come back. I'm pretty sure those are gonna come. Yeah, no, people are like people look like early 2000s right now. Like the people my age, like they look like early 2000s. Like I've seen spiked hair with like, bleach spiked hair,
Mm-hmm.
is like something that we weren't seeing for a long time. Yeah, people are looking like skaters from like the early 90s or the late 90s, like early 2000s. So it's a trip just how everything recycles. People don't know about tape cassettes right now. Yeah, like people my age below, they don't know about tape cassettes, but they're gonna fall in love with tape cassettes within the next 5 years. I promise you. You're gonna see tape cassettes become the biggest thing next to vinyl as far as vintage. Um, yeah, tape cassettes. Don't sleep on those because they're dope. They're actually some of my favorite analog era. You know,
If you think that's dope, then my mom is like the coolest person on the planet because my mom's probably got 1,000 cassette tapes down in our basement right now because
that's
she's
fire. Let your mom know she's fire. She's probably got the ill collection too.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You see right there? You put your hand on the shirt and it would change from purple to pink.
That's funny.
Uh-huh. And here was like the green to the yellow.
That's the shirt you can't get away with anything
You
back in.
can't. I mean, you get nervous at all and you're done. You're absolutely done. See? Like armpits all pink. You know, and then if you were a girl and you would start to get like the boob sweat
Yeah.
marks and stuff like that. Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say that probably has to do really bad for people who like sweat through the shirts like me.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah. That's cool though. That's actually kind of cool, like how it can even do that. Yeah, I haven't seen those, but I probably have because it's probably just because they're so old they no longer work, but it's still a vintage shirt.
Eric was a stoner in the 80s. So Eric, you need a buddies.
Oh man, come on, man. You know, that's the thing about buddies is it's the buddy that stays forever. So now you'll always have like a smoking buddy. That's always been my thing, man. Was me and my best friend William, we always smoke weed. And back in the day, like late high school graduation, that time period, um he became like the weed guru of knowing where to get the quality stuff, knowing how to get the best deal, how to get free stuff. And then he worked at a dispensary when he was 17. So this is before they changed the laws. He was working at a dispensary, and actually he was working for the manufacturer aspect of this dispensary. And then the laws changed, and you had to be 18 or older to work with cannabis. And so he actually got fired just because of that law, which makes sense. But it was crazy that he was like in that zone of it. And so we always smoked weed together, and we would talk life, spirituality. We would talk about Bud. And he would kind of like teach me about like some of the scientific stuff about weed. And he was my smoking buddy though. And then when he moved further away in the state, like 6 hours away, I no longer had like a smoking pal. And I remember like for a long time, because I every day for like 3 years I was smoking with my best friend. And now you know, it's hard to get him on the phone, you know, just because of life.
Mhm.
And I wish I had one of these guys when I first when he first moved away, because it was like, man. And I think everyone can kind of relate to that. Like there's a time period when you no longer are hanging around certain family members, or all your friends aren't hanging out with you back in the day, back like when we were all the Rat Pack, and you know what I mean, and we're tearing it up, you know, we're painting
Right.
red. We all have that separation, that time of separation. Doesn't mean we're not friends. It just means that times are different. And so, to be honest, that's why this thing kind of like hits me at home, is because it's literally like having a friend. It's like having the buddy to smoke one and talk. You know, you're talking to yourself. You know, now you don't have a soundboard to speak back and forth with. So you got.
Out of my own life. I hit this button on the side of my mouse here, and all of a sudden I was gone. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gone.
I know. I was like, where'd you go? I thought something had happened again. I was like, the chat's on. The chat's on. But yeah, so the buddies, that's what they represent. They represent that friend, where you could smoke one with and talk about life, maybe even get deep about life, laugh, you know, have fun. They're supposed to represent fun. They're you know, they don't judge. They don't get mad that you smoke. They like to smoke. Matter of fact, put your joint right in there, they'll hold it. Um, and yeah, they're really cool. Like I think when the comic strips come out with the buddies, you guys are really gonna see their character and true nature. But what's cool about them is you can still imagine their character. They're as imaginable as what you think it. It's oh, you know what I mean? Like they're those little guys, like woohoo, woo, woo. They don't really say anything. They just make sounds. You know, they're just little fun, little fun characters that hopefully stay with you forever. Um, Matter of fact, something funny about that was staying forever is this kid. He's actually the first person who bought a buddy, one of the small buddies in person.
Mhm.
He messaged me like the other day, and I woke up to this message like early in the morning, and he was like, "Dude, I just got back from vacation. I'm thinking that the message is gonna be positive." And he's like, and then a rat ate my buddy.
A rat.
Yeah, I was like, and he's like, dude, I don't even know how a rat got in here, but my buddy was all on the ground, like eating to pieces.
Oh, I love Ryan Milky right now. You ready for this? So I asked him what Beano. You were gone. He said Beano was big for him, right? And I'm like, what is Beano? Because around here, it's a pill that you take when you have gas, right? So this is Beano.
What is it? Oh, okay, we go. It almost looks like Where's Waldo.
It almost does, but he's in the middle. But this is Beano. So there's all of these characters in here, and it's a cartoon. I've never heard of it before because every time, I think it would be hard pressed to bring this stateside because you say Beano and everyone's like, you mean the fart pill? You mean the little pill that you get when you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, that
one.
That's cool. That was a comic strip?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Comic from Lisa Noble. How are you, my dear?
Comic for the British.
Yeah.
Dope. That's dope.
I still have 80 pulls left, you guys. $3 a piece. 5 for 10, 10 for 15. If you guys are interested, there's still virgins, ratios, old stuff in here. 60 centers, everything. 50% of that is going towards the Puzzle Pieces Squared charity, whatever we sell tonight. And then I have the Rocksteady Chase Soda, and I have these 3 customs back here still. There is the Glow Metallic Homer, the Neil Armstrong Astronaut, and the Metallic Spike Handmade by Robot. Which is all I've gotten done so far.
And I still got the 6 blind bags.
6 blind bags? You want to show them what a buddy is again?
Oh, most definitely. I'll grab a blind bag as well. So this is the blind bag. This is what's going to come inside of it. It's your buddy. They're all handmade, hand-painted, one-of-one art pieces. All done by my girlfriend, Ariana Page, an amazing artist. This is from a design that I created earlier this year. And Buddies is the name that I came up with. And so, yeah, you're going to get, there's 6 blind bags. There's 2 that are $35, and then the rest are $60. I did have 2 glass jar buddies, which I'll show you right now, but those got bought. So these are the limited edition with the cooler display. You're also going to get, he's also going to get a hand-drawn. He actually bought 2 of them, so he's going to get 2 hand-drawns, and then I'm going to throw some extra because he added a tip. And so, yeah, if you guys are interested in buying those, I do have PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, and Apple Pay to get those done. You can hit me in the DMs at Xander6Comics on Instagram. Or you can even contact me via phone number at 760-533-7962. Matter of fact, I'll grab a flyer too to just even show you, so maybe you can even screenshot it.
All right, I'll make you big.
Boom, boom. So that's the information. We got the phone number there. You can contact me, or you can email Ariana Page at a.p.artwork1@gmail.com. And then even if you want to, you can follow us at our Instagrams at Xander6Comics and Ariana.page.artwork. And then also, if you guys are interested in even seeing what we do beyond the buddies, because the buddies is one aspect of what we do, the www.a2zartwork.com is our website. You can see all the artwork we do. We did a lot of celebrity art back in the day. Last 7 years, I was doing a lot of like hip-hop artists, musical artists, legends, comedians, different things like that. I was just working on a kind of a portfolio. So that's what you will see like when we do pop-up shops, but we're now starting to introduce more of our ideas, our true vibes. So I have a comic book coming out. I got the Buddies here now. This is the new addition to the energy we're bringing forward. Um, and I'm rewarding everyone that is becoming a collector of all the new stuff we're doing, from the comic books to the toys. You guys are going to be a part of a VIP list of customers. So you guys are going to get artwork, actual artwork from the comic book that I'm making. So now you guys are going to be art holders, and instead of like trying to sell you an NFT, um, you get an actual piece of artwork, and then you get an actual piece of history. So if, let's say, the comic book, let's say my Z comic book blows up and becomes what it's supposed to become, because it is. Some of you guys who are collecting the Buddies or anything at that some of you guys are going to get actual live artwork from the comic book. So when it blows up, you have now a real life asset, and say, hey, look, this is from this book. I got it for free with an order, for, a toy or something like that 10 years ago. How much is this now? And they tell you it's 20,000, you know what I mean? So, please sell it, because it's $20,000 that you could give to you or your family, or hold on it, because it'll be millions of dollars at that point. So instead of trying to sell you like an NFT, I'm really just trying to show you the worth of my artwork through my actions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, yeah, sorry, I didn't know if the chat was on or off, because I can see your do I have a Kickstarter? I don't. No, I don't have a Kickstarter yet for this. I'm in the middle of a tour. I'm in the middle of an art tour right now, doing pop-up shops. We're doing more street fairs and art conventions this year. So before the Kickstarter actually starts, I want to get people a part of the collective. So I want people to be collectors before that, and kind of showcase that, hey, look, there's people out here that already believe in this, and they can vouch for it. So when the Kickstarter comes, there'll be more like, oh, I actually trust this person. Because again, I'm not just a company. If it was just a company, I would kind of like disappear off that and not try to show that I'm here. And the only reason I'm showing that I'm here is just so that people can see that this is artists doing artistry, and business and art. They have to mix in this perfect balance. So I'm just showing people that, like, oh, hey, I'm figuring it out over here. So yeah, when the Kickstarter happens, there'll be hundreds, even maybe thousands of people that have already got these pieces. Because these first pieces are actually one of one art collections. Like, this is the pieces that you guys are getting and ordering right now. These are like the rawest form of our art right now, because they're one of ones. Eventually, we'll have it all dialed in. We'll have a mass production, situation. We'll be taking this to the highest degree that we can. So the people that are with the early collectors, they really have something special for years to come. Kind of like that guy, he's got this blind bags, and he's gonna pull it, and it could be from 3 years ago, 10 years ago. That's the type of like excitement and feeling behind this product, because I'm not just trying to sell you a banana taped to a canvas, like how some art is. Like sometimes you get people that are just like, dude, I could just throw paint on the canvas and we'll call it art. I'll smear it, and I'll say that it represents my deep thoughts, or whatever. I'll put like a word that says ethereal, and now everyone's, they want to spend the $15,000 on it. It's like, I'm not really in that zone. I'm in a zone where, kind of like how comic books and toys did for me as a youth. It made me feel like I was a part of something, and it made me kind of allow my imagination to have a place and a platform to be free. Like I can make Spider-Man do anything. Um, that's what I'm trying to do with these buddies, with the comic books, is just to showcase pure energy and experience through that. So yeah, uh, it doesn't have to be that deep. It doesn't have to be that deep. That's all I guess I'm saying. With some deep stuff, I'm trying to tell you that it doesn't have to be deep. You know, it's really like experience, and I want everyone to be able to experience it. So eventually, we'll have the $10 buddy. You know, I can't wait for the $10 buddy, because then, you know, it's more affordable to the people that want to really collect, and they don't have necessarily the frivolous dollars to like spend on collector's items. None of us really do, but I you know, I can vouch for that because I collect. So I collect comic books. I like toys. Like I'll spend $30 on a Todd McFarlane toy, and I open up the box and I play with it. You know, sometimes I scratch it. I mess up the paint. So I'm not even looking at to resell it. I'm looking at to experience it. And
Right.
I'm 25 years old and I'm still doing that. I can never not unbox something. Um, and so yeah, you know, that's what being a collector and a fan of this stuff is all about. It's about how do you experience it. You know, I like the fact that I saw it at Target like last year or some shit. Oh, excuse me, something like that, and it was
You don't have to worry about saying shit.
my bad. Okay, good. I just want to make sure. You know what I mean? And it was a Spider-Man mask, and it was like the Iron Spider from the one of the movies or whatever, and it was like a full-on helmet mask, and I'm like, yo, these kids got it so good, bro. Like they got real like looking lightsabers. Their lightsabers don't have to, you know, come out from multiple pieces of plastic.
Right.
Theirs is like you know, they just press a button and it actually lights up, and in the dark it looks like a real saber, you know. So
Who's the guy? I was looking at him the other day and I was tripping out because it was the dark saber, and the way that the light moved up, it made it look like it was the shimmering edge, like, you know, like the movable edge, like it's in the show. But it was $399 or something like that because of the hilt, and then how many different sounds it makes. But I'm telling you, Xander, like this guy turned it on, and if you didn't know that wasn't a lightsaber with the way he was standing, I mean, you would think it was an actual lightsaber in the show.
right,
You know?
right.
I keep waiting for them to actually make one, like
Oh,
come out with it. You know, I've seen it where they've tried, but
it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, I know. Well, that's what's crazy about all this stuff is kind of like what I was saying about the Spider-Man mask was like that's the insane part is now kids they or people they have more references to use now. You know, like I sculpted this and it's not perfect. It's really the best I can do right now, but I'm using it as my reference because like with all these new pieces that I'm drawing right now that people haven't seen yet, I'm using that as the reference. So now I have a full 3D model of the head. I draw the head always anyways, as far as that character.
mhm.
I draw the eyes first for anything in general. So the fact that I have the head is that's the first thing I draw. So wherever I decide to position it in my perspective, that's where the piece starts. And so it's like just that little thing I created for myself is a great reference. I just bought a Spider-Man toy that he has a guitar and he's called Spider-Punk. And I've drawn a couple pieces from that because I thought he looked like the guy, he looks like an artist named MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, the way he was built and all that. So I decided to do my own mashup. And I'm like, whoa, look, I have purpose for these toys that I'm buying. You know, it's like I'm finding that out to be so now. Like that was always what it was, but now I can really tap into that. And so I think like people in general have the craziest reference that they never had before. And I think like toys and comic books and art getting so dope is really like gonna change everything. That's kind of like,
because Funko's coming out with a pop of Spider-Punk.
oh, really? Oh, yeah. I think that character is going to, I don't even know the character yet, but just by looking at it and experiencing it, I think that character is going to have like a lot of appeal to a lot of people. It hits a mark for sure. But yeah, that's why like that conversation about AI art that we were having earlier is it's cool to have the other side of it, because a lot of times you're just hearing people be negative about it. You're hearing a lot of good artists, say that they don't support it or anything like that, or that it's going to mess things up. And my opinion is that it can't, not for me at least. It doesn't mean that it can't get in the way. It doesn't mean it's not going to change the industry forever or multiple industries forever. It just means that you have to be able to evolve and go through it. We love music. Timeless music is timeless forever. It doesn't matter what era it was made in. It's timeless. And so it doesn't matter if that was from a synthesizer or an actual guitar or an actual piano. It doesn't matter if it was from a keyboard or a drum machine. It just matters how you feel when you get it. And I'm only here for a limited amount of time. Yep. So I hope I give you like a beautiful feeling while I was here, and while you're here, because man, life is beautiful. We have the choice to make it as good as we want to make it, or we can make it living hell. And so, that's why, again, I can't wait to have a conversation with you about you and your journey through collecting, and then your platform with Geek Meets Eats, and just kind of what you want to do with it, because there's people need to know that you can do something with your passion, with your hobbies, with what you think is a hobby. I don't like the word hobby. I'm not gonna lie. That's because I'm a doer. So none of what I'm doing is a hobby, And so like I look like that, like with what you're doing, you're not collecting because it's a hobby. You have a purpose for this. You know what I mean? I said it every time I get to tell you, you're sitting in your purpose right now.
Well, the purpose of this is because once I started collecting them and I can be almost complete on something, I'm like, I have to. And now it's become like a little bit of an obsession. I at least have all the limited edition ones, but like these, that's all Baby Yoda. All that's Baby Yoda.
Exactly.
And then up there is all Back to the Future, because I'm obsessed with Back to the Future.
Oh, for real?
Behind me is Ready Player One. All the ones from Ready Player One.
That's a good flick too. That's a good flick.
The book is awesome. The book is so much better than the movie.
Oh, I'll have to check the book out.
Absolutely. Well, buddy, I got now a couple things I have to pack up and get out the door. My cousin actually DM'd me and bought Homer Simpson, so the only ones I have left I'm kind of shocked. I honestly thought this one was one that would go first. I'm not sad if it doesn't go, though. Is my Neil Armstrong astronaut is left, and then I've got the metallic Spike. So those are left. If you guys want to hit me up on Instagram, if you want those, just make me an offer. And then Xander is Xander6 Comics, just like his name on the screen right now on Instagram. If you're interested in one of the blind bags for $35, the larger ones are $65, and then if you want one in a glass jar, then you have to add $10 for that. Yeah, actually I was eating gummy eggs, Eric, but close. And they weren't sugar-free. That's why I'm all like right now. So I'm gonna go pack this stuff up so I can get everybody their tracking tonight, like I promised. And Xander, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next time I look forward to being on your side of the screen. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Most definitely. I appreciate you guys, and thank you so much, and have a great day.
All right. Good night, everybody.